Falcon!
We set sail at first light, questing for steel, power and might. For countless days we ride the waves. The battle lies ahead, our coming they do dread. We raise the black flag and ready our attack. Fire cannons storm the walls, we will see this city fall. Show no mercy in the fight, the sky will burn with blood this night. Set sail and conquer on a quest to distant lands. Set sail and conquer, destiny is in our hands. To the heart of battle ride, the gods are on our side. We'll sail and conquer till we die.
Honestly, going into this One Piece movie marathon, movie 5, Curse of the Sacred Sword, was the one I could not wait to see. I mean, come on, it seems Zoro, one of my favorite characters in One Piece, was going to be the main focus, along with plenty of awesome sword fights and a way darker tone when compared to the movies of the past. Sadly though, this movie was a bland and aggravating train wreck. Or should I say, shipwreck. The story this time has the Straw Hats on the search for the sacred 7-star sword, said to be the strongest and most expensive blade in the world. Legend has it, if the sword unleashes its true power, the world will be plunged into darkness, which is really high stakes for One Piece when you think about it. The search for the sword lands the Straw Hats in the middle of a conflict between a small village responsible for keeping the sword safe and a group of marines led by Saga, a man who wishes to unleash the true power of the sword, who also happens to be an old friend of Zoro's. And for reasons that are totally not clear, Zoro betrays the Straw Hats in order to help out Saga gain godlike power. Well, honestly, I do respect what this movie tried to do, and I really emphasize on try. It just failed on the execution. Sure, the start of the movie was surprisingly dark and bloody for One Piece, however after that it never really goes that far again, not even during the final fight, which was actually pretty average. Speaking of the fights, as a whole here, they were pretty lackluster, which is a damn shame since in this movie we get a proper Zoro vs Sanji fight, which many One Piece fanboys, including myself, have been wanting to see for years, as well as see Zoro fight against someone from his past, both of which should make for some pretty emotional and badass fights. However, they just come off as really bland. Part of this I think comes from the animation. Now, nothing is wrong with it per se, I mean it does do the job, but for a movie where the fight animation and choreography is expected to be higher than the anime, as in my opinion, some of the fights just look like something we'd get during a filler arc in One Piece. Now, the final fight does have some cool moves, and I did like the atmosphere of the whole thing, but it lacks emotion, which is another aspect this movie fails. Mainly due to the movie's biggest plot point, Zoro's betrayal. Which is fucking bullshit! Gear 4th Rage Mode on! Alright. Straw Hats betraying the crew isn't something that's never happened in the series. However, in those cases, the characters had valid reasons for their actions with strong emotional impact on the viewer. However, Zoro's reasoning for going against his crew just feels so out of character, it frustrates me the more I think about it. I mean, let's just forget the fact that Zoro, the first fucking mate of the Straw Hats, would never betray his crew, and more importantly, his captain, for anything. And just look at how Zoro's betrayal goes down, shall we? Alright, so Zoro notices something going fishing on the ship and decides to go check it out. There he meets a couple of swordsmen interested in Zoro, who take him to their boss Saga, who Zoro has a history with. There, Saga tells Zoro all about his plans, which involve harming a bunch of people, and then falls over coughing, to which Zoro is just like, oh yeah, back in the day I made this dude a promise to duel him, so you know what, I'm just gonna leave my fucking crew, injure my friend, without mentioning any of this to anyone, including my fucking captain. What the hell, movie? Like, how does Zoro promising Saga a duel equal to betrayal? Couldn't the two just like have a quick sword fight and just get it over with? This whole promise gets more infuriating when we learn more about Saga's backstory, as the Saga Zoro knew before was on the supposed path of justice. So seeing him all bloodthirsty like should have been an instant indicator for Zoro to tell this guy to just fuck off, but no, we wind up getting a really stupid reason for a very out of character moment. But alright, the reasoning is stupid, but what about the drama that comes after the betrayal? Well, that's shit too! as Luffy never properly finds out about Zoro's betrayal due to him running around a cave full of booby traps with Usopp for a good portion of the movie. Which, Luffy knowing all about this would have added a lot of dramatical weight to this whole situation. Not only that, at the end of the movie, after leaving the crew for just bullshit reasons and injuring Sanji, he's sort of just welcomed back to the crew like nothing ever fucking happened. Which is bullshit! Like, don't get me wrong, Zoro is my dude. But how the fuck no would I forgive him for this if this movie was actually canon? Like, what? It's just all so stupid, it actually brings down this movie's enjoyment for me. Then again, there isn't much to enjoy here anyways. As I mentioned earlier, the fights are bland, and the whole dark tone the movie had going for it runs out of steam early on. Pair that up with a lack of comedy and character backstories I couldn't give less of a shit about, and you have the least amount of fun I've ever had watching anything related to One Piece. Now maybe that's an over-exaggerated statement, but seriously, this movie is just so full of shit, which just sucks. Because I wanted to love this movie since I am a Zoro fan, and seeing a darker side to One Piece would have actually been pretty refreshing. But this movie just fucks everything up big time. Luckily though, the next movie, Baron of Omatsuri, is a way better movie that properly utilizes a darker storyline and doesn't shit on any of the characters. Overall, Curse of the Crappy Sword can go rust in the bottom of an ocean full of Sea King shit. Gear 4th Rage Mode, off.